At dinner, my brother grinned, still single, huh? Must feel sad being a loser. My parents laughed. One dinner. One casual insult. It fractured my entire world, exposing secrets and setting off an explosion I couldn't stop. The aroma of overcooked chicken and cheap wine hung heavy in my childhood home in Columbus, a familiar tension already brewing beneath my mom Brenda's forced smiles and my dad Robert's strange cheer. I'm Leo, 31, a software developer. No, not glamorous, but I'm good at it. I make a comfortable living. I love my quiet mornings, tinkering with old video games. I'm single, not because I can't get a date, but because I chose peace after a truly messy breakup years ago. This never sat well with my parents. See, my younger brother, Kyle, he's 28, and he's always been a golden child. He's got that greasy car salesman charm, always talking loud about how busy or important he is, even when he's, well, between engagements. Mom Brenda dotes on him, calls him a late bloomer, even after he totaled 3 cars and ghosted 2 landlords. Dad Robert tries to be tough, but he always slips Kyle a $100 bill when he thinks no one's looking. I used to be so angry about it, but honestly, I just went numb. What they didn't know was I was quietly helping him myself. 3 years ago, after yet another eviction, I started covering part of his rent. The deal was he'd pay me back, eventually. I kept it a complete secret, just sending the money each month. Foolish, I know, but I thought I was doing the right thing. This dinner wasn't supposed to be dramatic. It was Mom Brenda's idea. We never see you anymore, she texted, a thick layer of guilt in every word. It would mean a lot to your father. I almost declined. I had a huge project going live, and honestly, I just didn't have the energy for the usual passive-aggressive comments. But guilt, man, it's a powerful thing. So, I showed up, bottle of red wine in hand. Dinner started exactly as you'd expect. Polite chatter about work, the weather. Dad Robert asked about my job, then, true to form, cut me off mid-sentence to ask Kyle if he was still talking to that recruiter in Phoenix. Kyle, of course, launched into a dramatic, convoluted story about almost landing a 6-figure role, needing more niche experience or something equally vague. All smoke and mirrors. Mom Brenda beamed at him, completely captivated. I was chewing a piece of that overcooked chicken when it happened. Kyle leaned back, took a slow sip of his wine, and looked at me with that smug grin, the one he wears like a cheap cologne. Still single, huh? He said, so casual. Must be lonely being a failure. He chuckled, like it was the most harmless joke. Like it wasn't a deliberate, calculated shot right in front of our parents, who both gave these soft, knowing laughs. Like he just said something brilliant, instead of utterly cruel. My fork was literally halfway to my mouth. My heartbeat, all of a sudden, was roaring in my ears. For a second, I just stared at him, my mind reeling. How could he say that? Especially after everything I'd quietly done for him. All the jobs I'd passed on, the vacations I never took, the countless times I said yes when I should have just screamed. I felt this intense heat creeping up my neck. My first gut reaction was to just laugh it off, ignore it, but something deep inside me just snapped. Quietly. Cleanly. Like a thread finally breaking under too much tension. I set my fork down, carefully, deliberately. Wiped my mouth with my napkin. And I looked my brother dead in the eye. Funny coming from a guy whose rent I've paid for 3 years. Oh, and by the way, that stops now. The silence that followed was so thick you could have cut it with a knife. You could have heard a pin drop. Kyle's face just froze, that smug smirk completely evaporating, replaced by pure shock. Mom Brenda's mouth fell open, almost in slow motion. And Dad Robert? He just set his wine glass down, a little too hard, the clink echoing in the sudden void. What would you have done? Bottom left of screen, click full story.